county, all these things you said you had ready to pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Good morning, I'd like to welcome everybody to our meeting. Just let the record show that all the commissioners here, except for Commissioner Forrest, who is under the weather today. The next item on the agenda is we're going to have some citizens' comments. Once again, I say this almost every meeting, but it's almost a time when we're rude to you. We'll let you talk, but we really can't respond back. Even though we probably like to a lot of things. We're going to keep it to around 3 minutes, but I don't have a clock, so if it gets to about 10 or 15 minutes, I may raise my hand up. No commissioner court action or discussion may take place until this is on the agenda. So at this time, I've got Diane George would like to speak. George, here.
Hi. Good morning. I'm Diane George. This is my husband, Donald George. We're in precinct 2. Anyway, we appreciate this morning. We appreciate the opportunity to talk to y'all this morning. And I wanted to just say we're not here to point blame or point fingers at anybody, like blame about anything. But what our objective this morning is to inform the court of our personal experiences of being neighbors next to Waco Solar 1. And we're here to discuss the adverse impact and warranty concern associated with the operation of this facility and frankly any future utility scale solar farms as it relates to noise and fire. And I did give y'all a little handout just so you can expedite going through this a little bit. You have it for reference for later. By definition, noise is sound is loud, unpleasant, unexpected, or undesired. Solar panels themselves do not make noise, but inverters, fan-type cooling systems, and transmission stations do. Inverters convert the DC from the solar panels to AC for transmission to the grid. Inverters need cooling. Inverter cooling fans generate a pure tone sound of about 675 hertz, which is comparable to jet engines on the taxi. Waco Solar 1 has 114 inverters. And close proximity to these inverters requires hearing protections. And as you see on the second slide, there's a picture of one of the Waco Solar Area 1 off the LCR 131, 140, and you can clearly see that the noise protection is required when you're up near there. And this is a picture of what is generating the noise that we're hearing as neighbors to Solar 1. All right, the effect on our residents, and my husband has a little thing here to let you know that this is the type of noise that we're hearing. The noise nuisance level in a rural area cannot be measured by decibel meters alone, really due to the low ambient noise in a rural area. The unnatural sound is more noticeable and bothersome in the rural areas than it is in the urban areas. And rural residents, we're not protected by any of the common city ordinances about noise. This noise that you're hearing right here starts before 7 a.m. in the morning and ends, right now it's ending a little bit after 10 p.m. at night. And it doesn't matter if it's raining or if it's showing, this is the noise that you hear. And for us personally, we spend most of our waking hours outside, and this noise is starting to get a little intolerable. Now, there are things that the solar farm can do to do noise mitigation. When they do their planning and their design, they can take that into account. So for future farms, it'd be nice if they would do that. Where they put the inverters and the cooling fan equipment can also mitigate the risk for the neighboring community. They can put up noise barriers around the inverters to stop the noise, and there's also quiet cooling techniques that they can use. Some of our concerns about any noise mitigation that they may do is that they're fixing to turn this solar farm from construction into operation. So a lot of the people that we've been working with are actually going to be leaving, and we are concerned that there's going to be delays and possibly unsatisfactory resolution to some of the noise. The other concern we have is that Waco Solar One is, that we've heard, talking to them, that they might put in battery storage. And battery storage will need more inverters, and those will potentially add the noise for 24/7 hours a day. Okay, so I'm gonna switch gears now to talk about the fire risk. This is not something that you hear a whole lot about, but solar farms can cause fires. It's not a fact that's widely known, partly because there's the shortage of data and underreported solar farm fires. Inverters get extremely hot. There's a bunch of, and particularly in Waco Solar One, there's a lot of above ground electrical cables. And for any fires around there, you know, you guys know that we're all dependent on volunteer fire departments. And this picture here is actually a picture that we got off of a news broadcast from Chesapeake, Virginia. This is a fire that took place. It's an Xterra Energy solar farm, just like, we think it's like Solar One. And this was a fire that took place May 1st. So it's a very recent picture off of the news from Virginia, with one of their solar farms. Now again, they have responsibilities that they can do to mitigate fire, you know, because they don't want fire any more than anybody else. They can do vegetation maintenance, properly maintain their equipment, making sure that they have a fire plan, that they know all the fire department contacts, and communication to the neighboring landowners in the event of a fire. We have not met the person yet who is responsible for operations, because they haven't come in, because we haven't had a chance to talk to them about have they put in their fire plan yet. But our concern is, you know, obviously y'all have burn ban on the agenda every week or every meeting. And you know the area is subject to burn bans. And with the expansion of Waco One, you know, that includes lithium batteries. That's another fire risk that we have to be concerned about. And then really the biggest, not the biggest, but a big concern for us living there is, can our volunteer fire department handle those fires? Okay. Anyway, so that's all we have. I would like to, or we would like to thank Commissioner Anderson, because he has been working with us to help address some of these concerns. And we, you know, hope that the court will acknowledge our concerns and kind of continue overseeing Xterra on, see if there's any way that they can properly address or resolve these issues in a timely manner. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for being here.
Okay. We'll move along then to our consent agenda. I hope you had a chance to take a look at the consent agenda. Do I have any motions? Second. Motion and a second to approve our consent agenda. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Let's go to the regular agenda. Item number 7, accept the record required monthly operation and report from county officials. Do we have any county officials here? I know y'all have them in your packet. Does anybody have anything that they want to address about what's going on in your area? If not, then we'll entertain a motion to approve those rules. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item number 8 is going to be to receive and approve a safety report on any accidents or safety concerns in this past month. I'll turn to Commissioner Friday to address that.
We had 2 small finger lingers. Somebody was injured. Other than that, nothing to report. So with that, I have a motion to approve the safety report with the 2 incidents.
I'll second. Motion in a second. Any other action or discussion, rather? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that will pass. Number 9, I think we can pass along. That is our county burn ban. For some reason, I think we're probably okay to pass that up. Item number 10, discuss take action on a road use agreement with Fuel Solar. We have a standard road use agreement that we have been giving out to the folks that are looking to put solar farms in. It's no surprise that right now I think we've got at least 4, I believe, that are trying to come in the Limestone County. This is a standard road use agreement, primarily stating that they will make the roads as good or better than when they found them. So what's the motion or the discussion as far as at least approving the road use agreement? So we have a motion.
Second.
And a second.
I just want to say this is a good time to kind of look at the solar farms coming and looking at these mitigation steps while the construction is being done, instead of having to wait until after we get to this point. You know, you got to create a good neighbor policy like the Georgians are having issues with it. So this is the time period when we need to talk to next area and try to help. I know this is a road use agreement, but it's a great time to talk about issues that we have once they're gone, and once they're developing. So the commissioners that are coming into their precincts need to know they're going to be getting these calls about these murders, the noise, and everything else that comes along with it. So this is a good time to talk to them and try to get that process started.
Well, and then we are still in discussion, we're doing a motion in a second, we're still in discussion. Let me say that I will get at least one call a week about somebody who will come in Limestone County and solar panels. And they're not saying that they want maintenance, they just want to know what do we got to do to come in. We learned a lot from the day that we first went into a pilot program with the wind turbines. There's a lot of things that we would have done. So we're learning as we go. Unfortunately, it's penalizing some of the citizens out here. But it's also helping some of the folks that want this on their land. They're actually making money on it. So I'm not so sure that we probably shouldn't come up with and this is kind of talking to y'all, we probably need to come up with some guidelines. Hey, yes, we'll let you come in and here's what we request. Or demand, I should say, not request. Number one, you do some of the things that we don't know what you should do, but then we find out what they are. Two other counties that might be doing this. And so having a list so that this isn't all they get for them to come, they've got to do some other things. That being said, we do have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right. Let's talk about item number 11, and this is going to be discussed action on the restroom of the Limestone Part 3. And I kind of got this after the fact. Jerry helped me on this, but I think it got to the point out there that, if I understand correctly, in the last 22 years, there's been no septic service performed out there.
Yes.
And so I think your department acted almost in a state of emergency to get this cleaned up. And so we've got a bill from Murphy pumping service for $3,400, and also, if I understand correctly, we may have to go a different route on this, but also, what's the 840 right there, Jerry? Do you know what that is? An estimate? Is
That is an estimate that he's wanting to take control over the bathrooms at Park 1 or at Park 2 and 3. The bathroom at Park 3 has been there 28 years. It's only been pumped twice. 28 years. And people, there's clothes in there, there's trash in there, it's a mess. They use the restroom all over the walls and everything else in there. He's wanting to submit that as he'll take care of it year round for that price. It will tear down what's there and put porta pots there and clean once a week to make sure that they stay clean.
And that's an $840
That's for the year.
for a month or year.
I don't know what it puts a set on.
That's that's 5 months.
That is certainly something that we don't have in our budget. We have to talk about it. I'm not so sure we don't need to talk a little bit further about this, but right now, I'm not even aware of who's cleaning these bathrooms. Whose responsibility is it to
The
clean?
one at Park number 2 is them 7. And they're supposed to have 2 there, but they only have 1. One of them got thrown in the lake and they never did replace it.
On the porta potties.
On Fort Knox. And they just take care of the one, and I think it's like $190 or $90 a month when they go down there. I don't know how many times they clean it, but anytime you go down there, it's usually pretty messy.
I think that's a bigger issue for Limestone County to decide how we're going to maintain these parks. I'm not trying to throw any stones, but normally our road and bridge department is off on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Guess what these parks are getting used primarily? Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if y'all may be walking into a hornet's nest every Monday when you come back, not only from that, but other things that you walk into a hornet's nest. I'm not so sure we should try to come up with some kind of program, see how we're going to address these parks. Because these parks were kind of short. They were given to us primarily from the Brazos River Authority, but yet we're responsible for all the upkeep and everything that happens with them. So I think we need to even look at this a little bit harder. Chantel, if you'll make me a note, the two things so far that I think we're going to look at, the solar, and the farms. In the meantime, do y'all want to pay the, I think we need to hold on actual, awarding the monthly, so we can at least put it out to get some bids on it. I think that would be better for our, local policy. But what's the thoughts on going and paying the $3,400 that was kind of an emergency cleanup, and where do you want to get the money from?
There is a little bit of money in the county park line, which is written on here, that 4980, but it's not enough to cover the whole $3,400. We could move the balance from contingencies, do a budget transfer to cover the full, to cover the rest of the amount.
Okay. I'll leave it to y'all to decide how you do that.
What was total funds left in that, was it 30?
In the county parks right now, there is $1,937,937. And in contingencies, we still have $122,427.
What do we have on our, from the sale, the, monies that we get each month from, the private prison?
We haven't reached the full 216,000 budgeted yet. So
I know, last month you showed us where, we would be there,
Yeah, gonna be June, is that June, that we start using that money?
yes, it'll be about June, so about next month, after we receive the June payment.
Why don't we wait till June to just set this up instead of like July
Well,
15th?
that's what we do, we want to get them paid.
Yeah, Murphy's already done the work.
It should kind of.
I think probably what we should do is
Well, it's kind of an emergency situation.
take that 1937 and then use the rest from contingencies. So I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to, approve the $3,400, and, any other discussion on this, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Oh, we have one opposed? All right then, let's go and look at item number 12, discuss take action on approval of the application for a late hour certificate for selling beer between midnight and 2 a.m. I know this went to the county clerk's office. You told me that you didn't feel comfortable signing this until the commissioner talked about it. Yeah. Okay, if I understand correctly, and help me out on this, this is primarily for additional Alvaro who has an event out on 84. And he's wanting to be able to sell beer, or mixed beverages, which it says between midnight and 2 a.m.
Do they have any representation?
Anybody?
This is in Michael Anderson's precinct, but I hear a lot of complaints about this facility. And I'm not talking about a handful, I'm talking about 50 plus every time they have a concert up there.
Yes.
And I would like to go to the sheriff about this. I mean, what are your thoughts about this? And serving alcohol to 2 in the morning is.
I can get with TABC and see what some of their guidelines are. I know they've changed some of them in the last few years, and I didn't know about it, or I could have researched it beforehand. I do know that a lot of the time when they have an event, you've called me several times, we have numerous music calls and different things because it gets so loud and it comes down the area.
And I don't want to hold the man up from having business out there, but I mean, it's getting ridiculous, the Facebook posts and the calls that I get on this, and it's not even in my precinct. But the noise carries down from Forest Lake and all that side over there. And all you can hear it out of the lake, is all that just boom, 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 I mean, all night long. Doesn't bother me that much, but I can see where the citizens down there have an issue with it. I think I'd like to have a representative that, you know, if they're gonna ask for it, us to sign this, they need to be here to speak on this. So I'd like to table it.
Motion.
I'd like to put a motion to table this.
I'll second.
Motion and second to table this item, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right. You should contact those people. All right. Okay, next item is move to table, discuss, take action on Limestone County Commissioner order for disbursement of salaries, routine office expenses, established by December 14, 2021. Got a motion to remove this from the table? Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion on favor myself?
I second myself. I'll second.
All right. So now then, let's go ahead and go in item number 14, discuss, take action on Limestone County Commissioner order disbursement of salary, routine office expenses established on December 14, 2021. The only thing that I know to do is to refer back to the order that was signed by the commissioners. And I guess I'll ask, does anybody want to overturn this as far as the, what this order actually did? If not, I'll open it up to anybody that wants to talk about it. If I should, you want to talk about it?
Basically, this order, the initial action for it was to allow us to pay bills without the Commissioners Court meeting and going ahead and dispersing it. Right now, as far as paying utilities and paying any other bills that are gonna have a late fee, we've already got a process in place. The bills are sent out, we hand checks, and they're sent out. I don't know what changing any of this, I don't know. I just know a lot of it has to do that the judge doesn't want to sign some of the invoices, is my understanding, is what the main issue is.
Well, let me address that. I think we pretty much agreed everything except for the property, right?
And, well, I didn't get a copy of the list that you had given to the rest of the commissioners. So,
Did you not talk with the district judge about this?
we did
About
talk,
the list?
but I don't have a copy of it right now. There was a few other things on there that, I did not agree with also.
All
The actual utility bills, if no one wants to look at them anymore and you just wanna have them sent up and they are processed as is, I'm willing to compromise and do that. There are some of the other ones on there that, as far as, I think one of them was your office water, bill.
You don't have to do that.
Another one was, I think, internet or telephone, cell phone bills. I think those were on there too. Like I said, I don't have a copy of the list in front of me to remember exactly which ones were on there.
What about the copier then?
The copier, I mean, if this will get us past this, fine. But I mean, there's gotta be a point where, I mean, you're saying it's all to eliminate late fees. We've already got a process in place that eliminates late fees.
So let me say this. For some reason, the copier seems to be a sticking point, so I just need some clarification. And I've asked to have a meeting to get that clarification. I know you do. If I am responsible, we get one bill for, how many copiers do you think we have, Chantel? Do you have any idea? Is there like 40? I don't know how many copiers there are in the entire, so we only get one bill for the 40. If I'm responsible, and you said before that you're okay with the actual contract and what the contract was, you're just not okay with the usage. That's where the approval needs to be. Then we will have to set up each department, or not each department, each copier, the amount of usage that they can have. And we'll have to say, Judge Lenore, you can only have 3,000. If you go to 3,001, then I can't approve that, and the whole bill gets sent back. And so, or delayed. And that's why I'm trying to say, these are things that just make life more efficient for Limestone County. I more than anybody want to make sure that we dot our i's and cross our t's and we don't spend money that we shouldn't. I just don't think that we need to overwork ourselves in an area to be less efficient for the county. So I'll just leave this like this right here. If anybody has any problem with, and I know the original intent of this was because we found this at a time when we weren't gonna have a meeting and we wanted to be able to pay the bills. But this was actually designed for exactly what we're talking about right now. That's the whole reason this came to be, not if you're gonna miss a meeting. So that being the case, I'll open it up. If anybody wants to do away with the order of disbursement of salaries and routine office expenses. If not, then we'll pass this and we'll go over this.
I would like though, if you're going to keep this, that you change the wording and specifically list which item that it is, only the utilities and the copiers. That way I have something, there is something in writing and the commissioners have voted on exactly which invoices we're gonna process without having a department head or an elected official sign off on them for pre-approval.
So, what's your intention?
No, you would. Actually, we don't need a motion. It's already approved and it's already been in place. And we'll go from there. So I'm just gonna pass that item. And let's keep going on our,
So there'll be something in writing that'll list exactly the invoices that we're gonna process without any.
Like I said, the copy right there.
yeah, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go by this right here. Until it goes back on the agenda and we talk about it next. Right now, this is gonna be in place. Unless y'all wanna change that right now.
I just want to make a motion that if we're going to revamp about the copiers, that at the next meeting, like the judge said, that we go ahead and put that word in there and that we decide and approve it. But the copiers.
But in the meantime, this is.
Yes, sir, this is, right, and at the next meeting, I'd like to be on the agenda, so the motion is to put the copiers, utilities, and what else was it?
That, I think
And
that's
the
it.
water.
Well, and it says,
No,
it
utilities.
says the utilities are already in here.
Right, and it also says, routine office expense, so that can be taken out, and supplies, so it would
Or
be utilities
utilities,
and,
copier.
copiers.
Well, once again, we could, not a lot, just this right here. In October, every year, the Commissioners Court right here approves the budget. We have a budget. That budget is set for the entire year. Your responsibility is to make sure that we stay within that budget and we don't spend things. Now, for routine things, we're trying to expedite things, get things moving fast, because if we rely, this county relies on the postal service. And if you rely on the postal service, that's cutting you out a lot of days that you can get something back. So, if it's anything other than that, I 100% agree. For instance, if my office, if Chantel wanted to get a new chair, that needs to come to my office. I need to say, that's, Chantel, is that the chair we ordered? Yes. Okay, and we did get it in, I signed it and set it up. That's verifying that. But the regular routine supplies, for instance, if Paul needed something, and it's just a small routine, something he needed, he needs to be able to get it, take care of his business. It doesn't need to have.
And he does, he signs it
Exactly.
and then sends it up. All I'm asking for is something in writing listing the exact invoices that are gonna be processed without a signature.
Okay.
All right, we have a motion.
Second. Motion is second, any discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, let's go to item number 15, take action on the Texas Department of Transportation CARES Act Airport Grant. I think we have, Chris is here, is he not? Chris, you wanna talk about it?
Yeah, on the CARES, I applied for a grant, to pay for the fuel maintenance, for the routine maintenance on the fuel system. And that's under the CARES Act. And what I'm asking for is just to be reimbursed for the funds that I paid, to update that system. And then, Natasha, I spoke with Natasha, and she had said that I'm really not authorized to sign on the application, to apply for that the judge would have to sign off on it.
You already had the reimbursement.
Yes, we got the reimbursement, that's how I found out that the grant had been applied for. And when I talked to TxDOT Aviation, one of the directors over the grants, he said that I needed to get this on the agenda because technically, yes, he's the airport manager, but he's not a representative of the county. So the grants have to be signed off, and they said if we would just have it done retroactively, and normally all these grants are signed off by our county judge. And then we have already received the money, and they said it's okay for me to go ahead now, and once it's approved in court, I'll be able to just go ahead and forward the money on to Mr. Savage. Or to trim there.
Yeah, the company. And that's just to upgrade the fuel system. I'm exploring every avenue to help in the airport as far as the grants, and I think it's a good thing that we get that funding, from the state, to maintain the airport, especially as much as we can.
What was your total amount out of your pocket for your company?
It was probably 24,000.
So this is less.
Yeah, but I got what I could.
No, I'm.
Yeah, I think their cap was 20,000 on that grant.
Okay, let's go ahead and stand where you are, we've got you here, our next item also. What's the pleasure of the board about reimbursing him for your money? So moved. Second. Motion and a second, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passed. So now then, let's go ahead and move over to discuss take action on Texas Department of Transportation grant for the routine airport maintenance program. And tell us what that's about.
Well, that'll be kind of the same avenue as far as, getting the judge to sign off on that, as far as, approving that. And I didn't realize that we were, I guess according to the contract, we were already approved for that.
This is a grant, the airport grant, or the ramp grant is one that the airport gets every year. And I think just somehow he managed to sign it before the judge received it in his email or something. But again, this is one that they said that it needs to be signed by the county judge and not by the airport manager. And so again, on this one, we would just need the judge to just sign below Mr. Savage's signature and do it retroactively.
Is this the one we approved back in October?
And that's just, routine grant for
No,
maintenance.
the one in October, this one is a small one, this one is for the AWAS system that we do we can submit invoices for to get a reimbursement on. The one in October was a big, it was a different one that you were completely, I don't know if that was through TxDOT or that one was through, I think that's 700,000.
Yeah, it was through TxDOT. And that's to, revamp the whole airport.
Pay off part of that. Okay, what's the pleasure of the board on this? Grant for routine airport maintenance program. So moved. Second. Motion and second, any other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thanks, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Item number 17, discuss take action on engagement letter for the OPEB evaluation and GASP 75 evaluation reports of fiscal years 24-25. Tasha, I think this is something that I learned a lot about, but it looks like this is money that we have to spend. Whether around it is.
So this is for the upcoming, this is for the next biennial, the next 2 years, when they provide this report for us.
You want to go ahead and do this for another 2 years? Anybody want to make a motion to approve it or get more information about it?
This is a report that they do that has to do with our retirees, and they supply the financial, or they supply this report for our yearly audits that we have every year that are given to our outside auditors for them to complete our financial statements again.
It's 12,000 a year.
This is for a 2 year. This is 12,000 will cover the 2 year.
So,
Have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. As far as discussion goes, I called this company trying to get them to explain exactly what this is, because I didn't know what it was. Finally got them and they explained it to me, and it's just a state formality that we almost can't get around. So there's $12,000 we have to spend, or $6,000 a year. Anyway, we do have a motion and a second here, the discussion on the side. All in favor say aye. Anybody opposed? All right, let's do these, real quick, the budget transfers. Once again, this is money that we have in the budget already. We need to move it around to make things work. First thing is in the district court. They are needing, let's see, purchase desktop for use in the district court. So move. Second. Motion is second to approve that. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Let's go ahead and the district attorney has a budget transfer. Let's see what it's all about. This is going to be to cover the additional expense accrued for upcoming trials. They're wanting to move investigative expense 4,000. So to get out of supplies. We do have a motion. Second. And a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right. Next is going to be our road and bridge. And that's going to be, this is a letter that we got here. And Jerry, you can help me on this. We have two people that, as y'all know, are vacation time. It builds up to help you with this 180, 160. And then if you don't use it, you lose. We had two employees that were scheduled to take vacation when the floodgates opened up, and they were unable to use that, and they're asking if the Commissioners Court will waive that for a period of time so that they can take that time off. That will just understand, they want to waive that, the hours, so that they can use those 2 vacation days and still get paid for them, even though they're going to lose them, frankly. There's no fault of their own. When do you think when will they be used by, Jerry? I know right now it's not a good time.
Right now, no, don't tell them right now.
By the end of June, you think we did that?
Once we get caught back up, yeah. If we get it.
And my question is, do you want to wait it for just those 2 employees, or do you want to just put a countywide halt on it until the end of June for anyone that might be in this situation?
We got several.
This together for us, for everybody.
Okay, we do have a motion. Let's get a second. We might have some questions. Have a second. And yes.
I just said, once you get a list together for us, we'll go ahead and take care of it. We've done a lot of hours right now. I mean, it's gonna be a while. We're gonna have to line, we have to find students.
All right. So we have a motion and a second to change our local policy as far as vacation time. That's going to be, we're going to put everything kind of on a halt until June, the end of June. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? That'll pass. Let's go ahead at this time and discuss and take action on using ARPA funds to cover road and bridge overtime and extra labor.
We have an article, 60,
It's 61,542.
Make a motion that we move that over to the overtime line for the bridge.
All of it?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
I say it, I'm more.
we have a motion. You want to look at that?
Second, so we got a discussion.
Well, we don't yet. We're going to have a second for that discussion.
what if we don't use?
Hang on a minute, let's get a second before we go any further. All right, that motion now dies. Now we're back into the plan.
What if we don't use all that, and then we don't transfer?
Well, I think, I know Commissioner Ford's not here, he called one of us for 40,000 in. I know that we've got some folks from the state here, Martin's here, we're gonna be talking about that here in a minute, about money we're gonna be getting back here later, but that doesn't help right now, people that are working right now. And so, my recommendation probably to go up to the 40,000.
If we needed to move forward, we could.
Yeah, exactly.
Those numbers are gonna get eaten up extremely fast. I mean, y'all know this, the county is a mess. I mean, they're gonna be eating up a lot of overtime. But I agree with that, we would put 40 and go back up to 40.
Is that going to amend that motion?
Yes, sir. How long is it till the end of the year, we got the rest of those funds?
Well, it's gotta be appropriated,
December.
twenty
December 31st, right?
Okay. We have a
So I
motion.
make a motion that we take 40,000 out of ARPA and go back to that.
And I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? We're not going to enter into an executive session, according to chapter 55107 of the Texas Open Meetings Act. So it is